So I noticed on the provided images from hard kernel that my IR transmitter thing there wasn't working properly. And eventually what I did is I looked at other distributions to see if some other distributions would work properly. But what that is that's a USB-based serial converter. So I found this Diet Pi thing, and when I downloaded the image, I noticed I didn't get any video, and that was discouraging. I thought, it didn't work, period. So I tried this other thing, this Trixie image, which is actually a version of Debian that hasn't been put out yet. And it did actually have the video come up, and that was very encouraging. And what I've seen is I've tried one more image that was before the bookworm, or is called the bullseye version, and it also had no video output, and I don't know if it's possible to get a video output. So eventually I just wound up using Trixie. So the way it's set up by default is you log in from a console, and you run startx if you want to start the Xorg Windows server. And it didn't do anything at all, but I found some people talking about the sort of hardware that I have, which is the Mali 450 GPU. My understanding is it's built into the kernel some sort of Mesa Lima support for the Mali 450, and it's there. I just have to sort of let X somehow get to it. So for the test, I just replaced my PC with this box and plugged some of the things into it. So I used a powered hub to try to take the power requirements off of the Odroid, because it only gets its power through a 2 amp adapter and a cable rated for 2 amps, and micro USB itself is only rated for 2 amps. So I have seen some sort of power problems in the past, but I think I was definitely I'd be going too far at plugging things like Wacom tablets into it. Yeah, so I don't know if you can install the Wacom module or not. It didn't come with the software that I had, but what I did is I just got the source code for the module, and I did install it. I also installed, compiled. What is going on here? Yeah, it one of the problems that the Odroid seems to have, which happens to with Odroid, is it's got this sort of issue with USB 1 things, and the majority of the ports is the OTG port, the power port, is unfortunately providing power. So there's nothing I can do about that right now. So one of the main reasons I wanted to make this video is what's very interesting about this is because I've made this new Lima driver. The video system is OpenGL compatible, and it used to be ES2 compatible, which is some sort of Androidish version of OpenGL. So what you can do is you can pretty much compile just software that was designed to work with OpenGL, and it will work on this unit. The only problem is, as far as I can tell, the performance is really horrible, so it's nothing that amazing. But here I am running GL Mark II, and I believe it's in OpenGL mode. So this is a game I installed called Extreme Tux Racer, and honestly, the performance is pretty much unplayable. So I was wondering if it included acceleration or not, but it's really not doing well. Then, just as a second chance, I installed Neverball, and I was having some trouble controlling it. But again, the performance wasn't really that amazing. So it didn't come with my wireless dongles driver, so I compiled them. I don't know if you can get them otherwise, but it's Realtek 8188EU is the driver. There's two of them I got, and one of them seemed to be kind of unstable, and one did work, seems to work more or less reliably, so that's the one that's on there now. Also, I got a new Kingston 64 gigabyte micro SD card for like $5 at Canada Computers. And it turns out from another story, I had these bogus sticks that had SD cards in them that didn't work, so I switched them out. I'm using it here, but what seemed to me to be the case is the onboard micro SD slot was unreliable with certain media, but that could be superstitious, but I did have a failure. So what I decided to do here was it has to boot off of the micro SD. So I have a smaller micro SD in the board there. What I think it does is it slowly boots onto the boot partition. And then what happens is once the Linux kernel is loaded, I then switch the root to the USB flash stick, and it's really just controlled by we call it persistent device naming, the UUID. So all that you really have to do in that case is copy the partition from the original disk to a stick, then delete the original one so there's no duplication of the UUIDs, and then it'll just boot off of whatever device has that particular UUID. So the M player that came with Debian, or you could install with Debian, seemed to have something wrong with it, so I just recompiled it myself. But again, I was unable to get a really good performance out of it, and I don't know if it was possible to set up acceleration or not, but it seems like certain avenues of acceleration were not available. So I got this Odroid used for $20 with a 16 gig SD card in there, and mostly it's just for fun. But if I was thinking, what would this actually be useful for? It's kind of like an Arduino that's a little more configurable on the fly, and maybe a little bit faster. But in terms of a gaming system or desktop internet browsing utility computer, it really isn't good enough. Thanks for watching.